Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on After GMS. It looks like we're in the Himalayas, but no, that's Winston-Salem.
Somewhere in there.
You know, it almost looks like the knob on top of Pilot Mountain.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's
Yeah,
the
look at
tower
that.
in Winston.
Yeah. So here we
Wow.
are on a foggy Monday morning. I'm Tracy McCain here with Ed Matthews, Megan Milleris. It is Monday, the 7th of November.
Yeah, the first Monday after the time change. We know maybe you are feeling groggy or you're feeling great, depending on how much sleep you got this weekend.
Yeah.
But either way, it's unseasonably warm for this time of year.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you all about that. I want to get this tropical business out of the way. You know, hurricane season's not over yet. We don't have a hurricane, but we have a subtropical storm named Nicole. Subtropical because it has characteristics of a tropical system and a mid-latitude low pressure area. So it looks weird on the satellite. You can see where the center is located, but look where all the thunderstorms are located, well out ahead of the center, and that is quite often the case with these hybrid subtropical systems. But it does have subtropical force winds of 45 miles per hour. Right now moving off to the north-northwest at 14 miles per hour. Could be a player, and we think it will be a player in Piedmont weather towards the end of the week. It'll move to the west, move over Florida around Thursday, maybe 70 mile per hour winds just under hurricane force, and then turning to the north and to the northeast and weakening as it moves into the panhandle of Florida. But the remnant low is expected to move up through coastal South Carolina and then North Carolina for Thursday night through Friday night. That would bring a little wind, nothing destructive in terms of wind, but it would bring some generous rain to the Piedmont, which really wouldn't be such a bad thing because we are dry. Okay, pressing issues this morning, dense fog. You saw there in Winston-Salem, you could just barely see the skyline. Visibility at Smith Reynolds Airport is near zero visibility in fog at Mount Airy and also Galax. It's going to take a while for this fog to burn off, but once it does, temperatures are going to warm up nicely. We're into the upper 70s to near 80 today. This will be our last warm day. Cold front moves through late today and this evening. High pressure builds in thereafter. The high originated in Canada, so it's got cooler air associated with it. And we start a real cool down tomorrow with low 60s on Tuesday and only around 60 on Wednesday. And then, of course, we'll be tracking that remnant low of Nicole moving what we think will move up the East Coast. Now, it's a great distance away, so we'll see how it will track as we go through the week. Near 80 today, very warm, mixed sun and clouds after the fog burns off. Tomorrow we've got a total lunar eclipse in the morning. I think we'll be able to see it. Fingers crossed that it'll be clear. It'll be during the Good Morning show, so join us and we will all track it together. Of course, election day is going to be dry and cooler, 63, near 60 on Wednesday, and then of course Nicole could bring some beneficial rain to the Piedmont. Again, based on what we're looking at now, Thursday night through Friday night here in the Piedmont. Then hopefully that low pressure area will accelerate on to the northeast.
Well, November gearing up for what some say will be a temperature roller coaster ride. Yeah, especially when you factor in today, we're at the top of that coaster, getting ready to go downhill, so buckle up. Today, temperatures, as Ed said, will reach about 80 degrees. So it's unusual, to say the least, to see this. It's not going to last, but still, it's weird. I was trying to turn on my AC last night to cool off the house, then flipping back to heat, and I'm sure I will pay for it on the bill. But it was just hard to figure out what to do.
Yeah, definitely. Up and down, not only with the temperatures, but with the thermostat, of course, as well. We're forecasting 79 today. 78 is our standing record. That's our current record in the record books. And that record of 78 goes all the way back to 1938. So we have an opportunity to tie it or at 79 set a brand new record. And that would be a pretty big feat since it goes all the way back to 1939. Now in terms of normal, we are well above, something like a little over 15 degrees above normal. Our normal high for today is 64. And of course, I'm forecasting 79. Now, even so, even though we get back to around 60 or the low 60s over the next several days, really, that is getting back closer to really where we should be for this time of year. So quite unusual to have a near 80-degree day here in the Piedmont, but I say enjoy it while it lasts.
Right, because I did look on the other side of that 7-day stretch, and we might have some mornings in the freezing temperature range.
And we think by Sunday, I mean, if you really want to look ahead, by next Sunday and then the following week, we could have some of the coldest temperatures we've had so far this season. There's going to be a pretty big push of cold air moving down out of Canada. That's the way it looks now. We've got over a week to track that, but that'll give you something to think about.
I was at the women's only race yesterday wearing shorts. And a short shirt. You know what I mean? It was amazing, the weather, and everybody was just like, wow, it's so warm. You know, we did get some rain, and nobody cared about that because it was about, you know, the mission of spreading breast cancer awareness and early detection, that important message. So everybody was just out there feeling great, and it was just like the overwhelming comment was, is this really November? Maybe we should have this race in November all the time because it was warm.
And you may be thinking, what part of the year would we normally have temperatures into the upper 70s to near 80? It would be the month of May. May.
Because not only the high temperature is not only high, but also the morning low was not that cold at all today.
Yeah, that's right. We only went down into the low and mid 60s earlier this morning, and it feels tropical out there. I mean, it feels actually humid, and that moisture in the air translated to the dense fog. That, you know, you don't see fog situations that often as we get into the chillier months. You normally see that in the warm season. Hence, we're in the warm season at the moment, and we've got a ton of fog out there.
Well, the cold weather is coming. We can all calm down just a little bit. A lot of people are on here talking about snow and how they want it. Let's see, let's count the number of snow comments. Abilene said that they want snow. Let's see. LeVar said anything more than flurries, he's not for it. So that's one on my side. Carol said any snow, Ed? Yeah. No, not yet. And then let's see, there was one up here who was talking about snow very early.
Yeah, Kathleen said as warm as it is, the temperature pendulum will swing into cold just as far. She said bring on the snow.
Yeah, so the snow conversations have already begun, but let's just enjoy this warmth because it's not going to last very long.
I do like what Kathleen pointed out as far as preparing for the winter.
That's true.
She really took advantage of this time right now where there's kind of a lull in between the seasons. She said fireplace flue checked, smoke detectors checked, carbon monoxide detectors checked, water pipes checked, and hall propane delivered and filled.
Smart.
Yeah,
very
really
smart move. That's a great way to kind of get prepared for the things because you know it's not going to stay warm, you know, for an extended period of time. And you know, we are in a transitional month where you have warmer temperatures, colder temperatures, and it'll eventually zero in on more colder days than mild days as we go on into December and of course January and February. Snow lovers, I can't guarantee snow before next year. We usually get our snows, not always, but we usually get our snows in January, February, and some of the biggest snows I've ever seen have been the first couple of weeks of March here in North Carolina. So don't give up hope.
No, hope is always there. Bobby,
hope or dread.
Yeah, exactly. Bobby said it was gorgeous in downtown Greensboro on Saturday. I agree. It was a really gorgeous weekend, and we'll hold on to it for a few more hours, and then it will transition back into fall.
Fall, yeah.
Pretty quickly.
So we never know who's going to join us on our After GMS feed. I have to read this comment, Ed, from Savannah. She said, you came to my elementary school years ago and showed us the weather balloon and all. She's now in her 20s and she will never forget that you did.
I'm glad that I made an impression on you and your class, and thanks for the sweet note. I really appreciate it. We always enjoy speaking to school groups and teaching them about the fundamentals of meteorology, severe weather, safety, and things like that. That's always a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I made a lasting impression.
You know, you came to my school too.
Oh my goodness!
You did. Yeah.
And he hasn't aged at all.
No, you look the exact same.
Thank you.
I probably look different. All right, let's get to some morning headlines this morning, and we do have some serious news to talk about. Cleanup continues today for some Greensboro neighbors after police say a woman crashed her car into 2 homes. Police say the crash happened on Peach Orchard Drive yesterday. You can see the extent of the damage in this video. Thankfully, no one inside the house was injured. Police say the driver suffered minor injuries, and they're trying to figure out what caused the crash. Police say more than 100 people in this area lost power because a transformer blew out. This morning, the power is back on. Neighbors will start working with their insurance companies on making all of these repairs.
East Market Street and Franklin Boulevard are also back open this morning after officials say a train hit someone in Greensboro. It happened around noon yesterday. Police have not shared an update on the person's condition or how it happened, but investigators shut down the road in both directions for several hours. We'll keep you updated as we learn more.
A new colorful wave of green recognizes veterans across the nation and the unique challenges they face. It's called Operation Greenlight. Guilford County taking part in this initiative as well. WFMY News 2's Itinese McMiller explains.
The Army veteran I spoke with is now a Guilford County employee. This week, she and about 400 other veterans who work for the county will know that they are appreciated every time they see a county building shining bright green in their honor. This display is called Operation Greenlight, an effort to support veterans.
I feel honored. It's a blessing that veterans are being honored now, and I definitely will be having my green light on, and I'm excited.
Before graduating high school, this military veteran enlisted in the Army. She served for 7 years, traveled all over the U.S., and spent time out of the country. She now works for the Department of Social Services, assisting other veterans like herself. But Robin's transition to civilian life had its challenges.
And it was a slight transition. I basically took some time off to find myself again in civilian life. We need to keep supporting one another, especially with the females, to let them know that someone still is there to support them.
You can show appreciation for their sacrifices by shining a light outside of your home in green throughout November 13th. People are encouraged to share their participation online by posting a photo and using the hashtag Guilford Glows Green and Operation Greenlight. And the color green represents hope, renewal, and well-being, something Guilford County Veteran Services is helping other veterans do. You can head to our website, WFMYnews2.com, for more information on the resources they offer.
An easy way to show support and say thank you. So early voting wrapped up for this year's midterm elections over the weekend. You have one more chance to vote, and that is on Election Day tomorrow. Let's take another look at what kind of voter turnout we're already seeing in the midterms to give us some indication as far as how popular this election will be. In Guilford County, more than 101,000 voters cast ballots during early voting. The busiest days were Friday and Saturday, the last 2 days of the early voting period. In Forsyth County, more than 74,000 people voted early. In Alamance County, more than 32,000.
Well, here are a few reminders ahead of Election Day tomorrow. Polls will open 6:30 tomorrow morning, and they'll be open until 7:30 tomorrow night. You do have to vote at your assigned voting precinct, and you do have to be registered to vote. You cannot register on Election Day. All
righty, one final look at the 7-day forecast. What do you say we set a record high today? I think we can do it. If we go past 78 up to 79 or 80, it'll be a brand new record. But enjoy it because it cools off with a cold front moving through later tonight. Sun and clouds, a dry day on election day with the lunar eclipse in the morning. We'll be following that during the Good Morning Show. We think and certainly hope that it will be clear so we can see it. We're looking at highs on Tuesday. Low 60s, only around 60 and partly sunny on Wednesday. And then we're going to be tracking subtropical storm Nicole, expected to move across Florida on Thursday, and then the remnant low turn up the East Coast and bring some beneficial rain to the Piedmont as we go into Thursday night through Friday night, the time frame that we're looking at now. We will have some gusty winds, we think. Nothing damaging the way it appears now, but this system is still a great distance away, so we've got several days to track it. I think it'd be great if we have very little wind and we get some widespread rain. That would be awesome.
What day are you talking about? You want that?
What's that?
The widespread rain.
Well,
you were like awesome, and I was like, hold on a minute.
It's if the track of this system goes as planned, they speed up and slow down. We think Thursday night through Friday night, and maybe into Saturday. But it's got to turn and move up the East Coast. It'll just be a leftover low pressure system by the time it would move up the East Coast.
Okay, so you're saying awesome that it would only be rain, not like
well, awesome in no wind or very little wind, which we are going to have some, I think. But the fact that we're dry, we're abnormally dry, we're not in a drought, but we could use some rain. And this is an opportunity for us to get some rain.
Okay.
So yeah,
See,
that was the awesome part.
Right, if I had been really focused in on the whole thing, I probably would have caught that, but all I heard was like, widespread rain, awesome. I was like, wait, what? Got it now. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for explaining it twice.
And thank you all for joining us on After GMS. We will see you back here on our main channel for the Good Morning Show at 9.
Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow. It's election day. Go vote.
Decision Day 2022, we are live as polls open for the midterms.
What's at stake at home and across the nation as both parties seek the majority?
Plus the rules for precincts and mail-in ballots.
Your vote matters tomorrow on The Good Morning Show. No, it's okay. I got lost in Megan's eyes.
What is my eyelash crooked? Decision Day 2022, we are live as polls open for the midterms.
What's at stake at home and nationwide as both parties seek the majority.
Plus rules for precincts and mail-in ballots.
Your vote matters tomorrow on The Good Morning Show.
Election Day 2022 tomorrow on The Good Morning Show.